Hello, this is a 2020 Ford Escape. It's been having issues lately with the passenger, the front passenger, and the front driver side doors not locking. So the car is locked right now, and the door opens. This one is locked, the rear trunk. And the driver's side I fixed just the other day. I didn't see any fixes for this online, so I want to show you how we can do this. First thing to start off with is when you actuate the locking mechanism, this actually doesn't move because it's jammed, and I found out that was the problem. So I can show you how to do that, but we do need to take the door panel off. First way to do that is we'll get a screwdriver, wedge it under here. This back plate comes off. There's a screw under there. There's another screw under this. You can wiggle it off with a little flathead screwdriver. Down below, there is two bolts, one there and one over that direction. And then last thing, the hardest part to get off here is this cover. You kind of gotta wedge a little flathead under here, under there, and pull the trim up. There's clips all along here, so it's a little difficult to get out. But once you do, there is two additional bolts under in here. This one you actually don't need a flathead for. You can simply just push with your finger in this top corner and it comes out. Just a couple clips. This side reflector here. I'm gonna wedge your flathead in here, push on the tab, and that pops out, and there is a screw back in there. Okay, I use the flathead to pry this up. It is kind of a pain. Some of the clips are a little hard, but once you get it up, there is a power cord in here that you need to disconnect. Now that we have that disconnected, we can set this off to the side. You can see our other screws here and here. I have all the bolts out now. Just to note, this top bolt as well as this bolt here under the reflective panel are an 8mm socket head. And then these two and the two down here are a 7mm. And then also I'm on the passenger side, so there's only one cord here. On the driver's side, there are two plugs, since it does have the master controls for all the windows to roll down and such. Now I'm gonna start taking the door off. It has clips that's holding it in, and they're kind of like little hole punch clips. So you gotta pull straight out, start from the bottom, and then start working your way up with your hand inside and underneath the panel as you get up to the top. And the only thing I kind of found when I got to the top is you kind of got to be a little violent with it. Try and be careful at the same time and not break any clips, because otherwise it won't go back together. I've got the bottom loosened. You can see what I'm talking about here with the clips. You can kind of just pull them straight out. Okay, so we have the door panel disconnected. I did roll down the window here so we can see a bit better. When you do get the door panel off, there is going to be another cord here attached in, so you need to undo this. Okay, once that clip's undone, this, in theory, should be connected nice in here, because this is what actuates when you hit the lock buttons on the door. So if we do have this plugged back in, we can see these lock buttons flip back and forth. This bottom one is actually the door handle. So if we look on the other side here, this piece is now free to move when it was caught earlier. So that has been the problem. This right here, this little ball, is the top piece, and it hooks right into here, and it moves back and forth when you lock and unlock the vehicle. And somehow it got disconnected and was no longer in its place. So therefore this couldn't actuate back and forth, and it also wouldn't let this actuate back and forth, locking the door. So I replugged in the door here to show you when you lock and unlock the car, how that moves back and forth. That's what was being restricted when it came out of its place right in here. So we're gonna leave it in the, what is that, the unlocked setting?
What's the unlocked?
Go back to locked. I'm gonna leave it in the locked setting to make it easier to align that ball right in here and have the string go right through there, so then this can actuate properly. Now I have this slid back into place, and if all is aligned properly, it should clip, which it does now. So now it doesn't come off, versus when I opened the door, since it was out of place, it just fell right off. It wasn't even connected properly. So now it's clipped back in here and clipped in under here. Now as a test, you can see the door actually moves and locks properly. From here, now that we fixed the issue and it's back in its proper place, I'm just going to put the door back on and put all the screws in. When you are reconnecting the door, make sure to feed this cable up through its hole so then it can be connected again. As well as remember to put these 2 bolts in before you put this cover on. I made that mistake earlier. All right, the bolts are in. Last piece here, I did reconnect this. I gotta make sure that guy's seat's down in there, and then the front can kind of just push down and it's in. And we now have success. I hope this helps.